from rock to man. Let us begin with the fact that every creature's self-awareness requires a spirit that has nothing tangible in the physical realm. Therefore, the spirit of life did not evolve. It had to come from the Spirit Maker, the Lord our Maker. Likewise, without the intangible emotion of love, life could not exist. This fact is verified by the reality that babies will die in orphanages when they do not receive the warmth and love from physical contact. Their anguish from loneliness actually causes their breath to cease. This is how important love is to the very existence of life. The emotion of love, woven within our spirit. In fact, every creature, great and small, shares the deep need to express and receive love, for love provides the most sublime happiness that life could experience. And it is love that is the highest form of intelligence. Therefore, the creation of the universe came from an intelligent designer, one who gave to all life the highest form of intelligence, love. And no matter what arrangement of a rock's molecules or the environment where lifeless rock is placed in lifeless water, it will always remain what it has always been, a lifeless material, utterly incapable of evolving into life with its free spirit and array of emotions. With this foundation laid, an examination is needed to contrast the Christian's faith in both Jesus Christ and the Word of the Lord with the atheistic philosophy based on the carnal mind's enmity against God. So, let us begin with the basis of each. 1. The Creationist declares, "Nothing is beyond God's ability to bless." The atheist evolutionist declares, "There is no God to bless." Both assertions of evolution and creation require faith. In the dogma of atheism, all science that is taught in academia is predicated on insisting that life evolved from non-living matter, as where the creationist asserts that we have no power of command to control the beating of our heart, or the motion of the breathing of our lungs, or the healing of disease, and that this is the basis to conclude that there exists an intelligent, life-giving power behind all that exists. 2. Why does life and death exist? Says the evolutionist. After millions of years of water washing over rock, the assembly of elements in a primordial soup began the abiogenesis of life. From prebiotic synthesis, to polymers, to protocells, to bacteria, the once non-living matter transformed into living matter, thus began the dawn of life's diversity. From the complexity of the non-replicating protein molecule, the first living cells evolved. And over vast spans of time, they developed into complex cells, having evolved the ability to reproduce, through mitosis. And with this process of replication established, the life of these primitive cells mutated. And over vast spans of time evolved into the self-awareness of life. And once the life branched into the various families of plant and animal life, over long spans of time, eventually evolved through the primates, into the stature of man. Says the Christian, God created the earth mature and complete, as proven by the symbiotic relationships between the many plants and animals, where neither could exist without the presence of the other. Simply put, symbiosis is the administration of laws instructing that everything that exists, whether living or non-living, is necessary for the perpetuation of life. The difference in complexity between one single cell in the human body, which has been calculated to contain 20 billion exponential bits of information, versus the whole of the lifeless universe containing 118 elements in the periodic table, has been calculated to a mere 235 exponential bits of information, according to astrophysicists Chandra Wickramasinghe and Fred Hoyle. Then there is the union of the physical laws with the moral laws, where obedience to each contributes to life's perpetuation. God is clear in declaring that whatever threatens the perpetuation of life, God calls it sin. And sin is defined as violating any of the 10 commandments which rule in both heaven and earth. Before the existence of sin, death did not exist among life. It was the introduction of violence against life that introduced the curse of sin. It assaults life's security and tranquility. And it was sin that brought death to the world. 3. Will death ever be done away? Says the evolutionist, no, death is eternal for all life. And all stars and planets have a lifespan. This includes our sun and solar system. The sun will one day become a red giant in which its diameter will expand, engulfing the planets of the solar system, bringing a complete end to our solar system. Says the Christian, man's inherently immoral, self-destructive nature will be replaced with the glorified nature that God promises to give to every faithful soul at Christ's coming when He resurrects the righteous dead, and translates to glory the faithful living. Only then can man once more be entrusted with the care of life. And God will supply the needed nutrition for immortality by the fruit from the tree of life whose properties will preserve man's eternal life. As it was in the beginning. As to our sun shining for all eternity, energy sources presently unknown to man will perpetually energize the stars above and the galaxies beyond to always remain. This will be the happy abode of the saints to discover and explore throughout the endless ages of eternity. Number 4. Why is there so much selfishness, crime, and war on the earth? The evolutionist says, it is simply based on the nature's law of survival of the fittest, that man was wise to adopt to sustain civilization. The Christian asserts, it is because of the temptations of devils that afflict us every day to bring harm to ourselves and to those around us. Those whose character is strong enough to resist will not fall prey to their snares that harden men in sin and unbelief. But those morally weak souls who entertain the temptations will inevitably be led to do things their good conscience would have never allowed had not the devils under Satan's command been present. 5. Why are there so many disasters in nature? Says the evolutionist, the earth is still evolving. Says the Christian, God is denied the right to overrule the disasters that the Bible teaches are all associated with the angelic powers of Satan used to manipulate life on the earth, everything from tornadoes and hurricanes to lice and disease. 6. Will the system ruling over the life on earth ever end? Says the evolutionist, man will evolve out of this present way of living to enter a new age of enlightenment. And in the generations to come, reach the stars to colonize other worlds. Says the Christian, it will only come to an end at the second advent of Jesus Christ, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. He also comes to destroy the works of the devil. But primarily, his coming is to bind up the broken-hearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. Why is it that man wants to hold to this idea of a godless creation? To believe in a personal creator naturally requires accountability to him. But man runs from this accountability. Man instinctively gravitates to sin. Therefore, when we cannot rest in the knowledge that our Creator truly loves us and only works to achieve our good, we create other theories to give us a sense of value. The only way to establish true self-esteem is to search and discover the scientific and moral truth of God's supreme love for us. God lives to serve life, no less than the heart or the lungs exist to serve. But how much greater is God than your heart? Symbiotic law, which is the cornerstone of universal government, proves both the existence of God and His self-emptying love towards His creation.